Hello and welcome to Boring Dead Gaming, where today we're going to be starting up a new playthrough on the channel. This is Paranormasight, the Mermaid's Curse, which is the follow-up to Paranormasight, the Seven Mysteries of Honjo, which I think I played a couple of years ago on the channel. Enjoyed a lot. This is obviously in the same series, the Paranormasight series, but there seems to be, each game seems to be its self-contained own story. So this time, completely different location, completely different characters. Still a mystery, still a bit of a horror game as well. That's about all I know, really. So why don't we start a new game and see for ourselves? There he is. My apologies for the wait. Welcome, welcome. How wonderful it is to see you again. I am the storyteller, your guide to the world of Paranormasight. Now then, I understand you might be keen to dive into our story. But there are some important matters I must address first, so please bear with me a while longer. First, this game uses autosave. The game will automatically save at regular intervals, so you may stop playing at any time. Next, please look at the upper right of the screen. This is the menu button. So it is. Okay. From here, you can check the text log, view files, and adjust your settings. You can also adjust the volume and other game settings. Yes, okay, thank you. You find that certain effects make the text difficult to read. Turn them off. No, that's okay. Brightness, that's all good. It's all good. It's fine. Let's just carry on. No. It's fine. It's basically okay. Yeah. So it's point and drag and stuff. It's fine. You'll once again be able to move after this. So try taking a look behind you before turning back to me. Okay. Whoop, 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 whoop. Wonderful. Well done. You may also select the face of an individual in front of you to talk to them. Please go ahead and try with me. There we go. Bravo! A fine display. There are times when you will be presented with options such as these. Do not fear, you will come to know where we are eventually. Once you have seen everything an option has to offer, a check mark will appear next to it like so. Oh, so you've forgotten who you are, have you? But there is no need for concern. It is for that reason that I am here to guide you after all. You may be confused at first, but continuing through the story should allow you to remember your true objective. That is all for my explanation of the basic controls. I will explain other essential functions when the time is right. Ah yes, there is one more thing I wish to confirm before we continue. As you may know, I previously served as guide to a different tale in the world of Paranormasight, one concerning the Seven Mysteries of Honjo. You wouldn't happen to be familiar with the events of that tale, are you? I am. Is that so? So we have met before then. You looked quite different during our previous encounter, so I failed to recognize you at first. My apologies. In that case, there is nothing I need warn you about. Well, I believe I have kept you waiting long enough. The tale you're about to experience concerns a number of legends passed down in... Ooh, okay, so this is probably a good point to say that I'm going to try my best with the Japanese names, pronunciations, but I'm going to make mistakes, I expect. So just know that I am trying, and I apologize in advance for any mistakes I make. I'm going to say Isabe? Isabe? A stretch of sea bordering Mie Prefecture. Specifically those legends involving mermaids. Yes, as the subtitle suggests, our subject this time is the widely familiar mermaid. just like we recognize. Since ancient times, a great many legends about mermaids have been passed down in countries all around the world. In Japan, many of the legends famously include the idea that eating their flesh grants immortality. The tale of Yabikuni, which continues to be told in such places as Wakasa Province, modern-day Fukui Prefecture, is perhaps the most well-known. These legends have spurred those with a yearning for immortality to seek out mermaids since ancient times. Of course, as I just mentioned, these are only some of the many legends concerning mermaids that exist across the globe. Indeed, Many have sought out mermaids simply due to fascination with their status as rare and mystical beings. They have also served as the inspiration for countless creative and artistic works throughout the ages. It would seem that mermaids possess a mysterious charm that has captivated the human heart for myriad reasons, irrespective of era or culture. Huh. Nice, alright, yeah, so this is... I went with Mie Prefecture, located in the eastern part of the Kii Peninsula in central Honshu, the Japanese mainland, and falls within both the Chubu and Kinki regions, measuring 170 kilometers from north to south, 80 kilometers from east to west. It has a narrow, elongated shape and is known for its rich natural diversity that differs greatly between its northern and southern region. Oh god, there's quite a lot here, isn't there? I'm not going to read all of that now. But I understand that pearl diving is going to be a fairly big part of the game, so that is where that happens. Ise Bay, also known by the name the Sea of Ise. Ise Bay is an enclosed bay located in central Honshu. Although its exact range varies, in this game it refers to the area of sea surrounded by land up to the line drawn from Cape Irago in the Aichi Prefecture to Cape Diao in Mie Prefecture. So, this area, the shaded region, basically. Mermaids. Oof, again, there's a lot of lore here. We may get to that at some point. Cool, alright. Ah yes, the files added just now should provide a general overview of the terms that came up in our conversation. It seems you have already taken a look, but I do recommend reading them if you have the chance. They may allow you to enjoy the story even more. Words highlighted in pale blue usually indicate that there is a related entry in your files. I think as these words come up and, as a player, I feel like a bit more explanation would be nice. Maybe we'll do it sort of as and when those come up. Now then, allow me to introduce the primary setting of this tale. The majority of our story takes place on Kameshima, an isolated island in the waters of Ise Bay. Alright, let's take a look at this then. So, Kameshima. It's this little thing here in the circle there. It's a bit like a turtle, if that's its head, legs, shells, and tail. An island situated between the Atsumi and Shima peninsulas, and the most distant of the 4 populated islands under the administration of Toba City in Mie Prefecture. It has an area of approximately 0.7 square kilometers and a population of about 900. The island's name comes from the turtle-like shape, there you go, meaning kame, meaning turtle in Japanese. Famous for its karst landscapes, I don't know what that means, and other beautiful scenery, Kameshima is a popular location for tourists year-round. Recently, the island's youth organisation has been leading a revitalisation effort to boost the local economy and strengthen the community, creating an island logo and a mascot character, Kameshimaru, which are expected to bring more people to the area. You will experience events through the eyes of a young resident of the island, one Yuza Minakuchi. Nothing else, please remember that. Well, I believe this ends my initial explanation. Bon voyage, and do enjoy the tale. Thank you, storyteller. Story is a work of fiction, etc., etc. Please note that one of the locations that appears in this game, Kameshima, is a fictional island with no counterpart in reality. I do understand. I saw someone talking about the game, and it does seem to be a translation of something that is actually in existence, but it's its own thing in the game. Did you come to me, or did I go to you? I cannot recall whether it was a dream or reality. I cannot recall if I was asleep or awake. Tales of Ise, Passage 69, Karino Sukai. August 7th in the 1980s. Morning, Toba City, Mie Prefecture, Kameshima, Southern Sea. Azami. We're not Azami, we're someone else, aren't we? Right, well, this should do it. All good to go, user? Yeah, ready as I can be. I feel so light. I bet I could even outswim a shark. No, more than that. I was born for this moment. The legend of Kameshima's patron saint of diving begins today. Yes, if I click on this, this is, user Minakuchi. Yeah, so let's have a look at Well, let's look at this first. So, he's about 18 years old. He's an apprentice diver. Ama, I think, are the pearl divers. Not sure, though. A young man, born and raised on Kamishima. Although generally quiet and serious, he has an eccentric side that often sees him make jokes and wisecracks with a straight face, catching whoever he's talking to off guard. After losing his parents in a large-scale maritime accident 5 years ago, he was raised by his grandmother, veteran ama diver Tsuyu Minakuchi. He briefly found work at a seafood processing plant in Toba after graduating high school earlier in the year. But upon hearing that Tsuyu had injured her leg, forcing her to retire from diving and causing difficulties in her daily life, he quit his job after only 3 months and returned to Kamishima. At present, he is caring for Tsuyu while looking for work on Kamishima, and he has recently made the decision to follow in Tsuyu's footsteps and become an ama diver himself. Although he has been unable to bring himself to enter the sea since the disaster 5 years ago, losing his parents in a large-scale maritime accident. He is hoping that his previous aptitude for swimming will lend itself to a natural talent for ama diving. His current diver rank is 1. Quiet and introverted as a child, he began to show a more animated side upon befriending Azami Kumoi, a boy his same age, and it eventually became a common sight to see them getting up to mischief together. Although the maritime disaster 5 years ago saw a drastic shift in the way most of Kamishima's inhabitants treated Yuza, Azami alone continued to treat him the same. Even now, it is not uncommon for Azami to find himself caught up in Yuza's eccentric exploits, but he is always quick to laugh and follow his lead. Well, that sounds pretty impressive, but this is your first time diving out in the bay, so don't push yourself too hard, alright? Yeah, I know, it's my first time, but somehow I'm brimming with confidence. I just know I can land a massive haul if I try. Well, I'm glad to see you're raring to go. I'll make sure you don't go too far from the boat at first. Best friend. Alright, let's have a quicker look at this. Well, if he's going to be a main character, maybe we should keep going. Azami Kumoi, 19 years old. A young man born and raised on Kamishima. He has been friends with Yuza since childhood. He has a friendly and caring personality, and his willingness to help those around him has made him someone the islanders of all ages rely on in times of need. His father was a fisherman, and he accompanied him out to sea on his boat from a very young age. As a result, he grew up never doubting that he, too, would one day become a fisherman. After his father died in a maritime disaster 5 years ago, hopefully we'll find out a bit more about this maritime disaster. Seems to have affected everyone. Took on his mother. After his father died in his mother, an ama diver, took on the responsibility of raising Azami and his much younger brother on her own. During the close season for diving, when his mother worked on the mainland, Azami was responsible for looking after his brother. After graduating middle school, he refused his mother's suggestion to attend high school and quickly obtained a 4th-class boat pilot license while helping with fishing around the island. He is now able to take his father's small fishing boat, the Sayun Maru, out on fishing trips on his own. He has a frank, easygoing relationship with Yuza, his childhood friend, and the two of them often get up to mischief together. Although he was happy for Yuza when he left to attend high school on the mainland and later found a job there, he also felt somewhat lonely. For this reason, he secretly welcomed the news that Yuza would be leaving his job and returning to Kamishima to take care of his grandmother. No need to worry, Azami. You just focus on getting the grill ready. We're having a feast tonight. I'll hold you to that. The diving minigame will now commence. Follow the instructions to get used to the controls, then press dive when you're ready. Okay, so I can move the camera around, up and down. Diving, swimming, gathering, searching. I mean, I suspect... Should we just dive? Hopefully it'll tell us what to do. Dive. Dive, dive, dive. Ooh. Begin! Only 2 controls are needed. Move mouse, look around, left click, perform action. The available action will automatically switch between swim, harvest, and return to boat, depending on the situation. Okay, sounds easy enough. Areas where sea creatures are located will be marked with exclamation marks. Begin by looking around to try to locate any potential catches. Okay, so we got this. Ooh, ooh. Oh, your oxygen gauge will decrease when diving. Be sure to go back to the boat before it runs out. You can return to the boat at any time by turning your viewpoint upwards and selecting return to boat. Your remaining oxygen will continue to decrease on the way back, so don't wait until it's too late. I'll grab that though. He drowned. Okay, well, I didn't know the oxygen bar was a thing to begin with, so let's try that again. Do I risk one more? Maybe. I failed again, didn't I? Right. Wonder if our oxygen bar will last a bit longer. We gain experience. Right, let's go back now before it goes red. Come on, I should have done that, right? Yay, I survived! New record. Oh, I've ranked up. Okay. Select a skill to increase. Well, okay, so diving at higher level means you can stay underwater for longer. You can swim faster. You can easy time gathering. Yeah, I think staying down there a bit longer is probably the best thing to do initially, right? I don't need to replay it. I've played it 3 times now. Quite enjoyed that. Okay, looks like you're all warmed up. Let's go out a bit further so you can look for something bigger. Biggest catch you can get at this time of year is probably abalone. Snagging just one's something to be proud of. But remember, the sea creatures are living things. They'll change places every time you dive, so be careful. Alright, I'm fine. It's not like you have to master everything at once. We can take off whenever you're ready. Let's go down again. Dive. Abalones, huh? There's a question mark over there. Let's see what that question mark is. It's a big old hole. Tell you what, I'm not going down there yet. Let's go back. Swim faster. What about gathering? Because we're having to click a lot, and each time you click, it uses up oxygen. So, we go down again? Let's go down again. So Dave the Diver again from a first-person perspective. Are we still near that big question mark? Yes, we are. Back over here, I guess. That's an abalone, right? Let's go back. Hooray! I think we did it right then. Nice. Okay, swimming faster. Detecting for... I'm going to go a bit more oxygen bar, I think. Get in again? I'd like to get down to that... see what's down that big hole, but probably need to do our speed a bit as well. So let's try and level up again maybe before we try and head down there. One more. Out. Hurrah! Oh, I didn't quite level up though. Okay, I think I want to level up again because I want to get down to that. I'm guessing that's going to advance the plot. That sea cave. We're probably. I mean, it's called the Mermaid's whatever, isn't it? So. Imagine that it's something to do with a mermaid. One more in me, maybe. Let's go. Look at that. Yeah, I think speed now. That'll probably help. I'm going to go down again. I'm going to try and get into that sea cave this time. Let's go make a beeline straight there. Oh. Oh. What the hell is that? No, get away from me. Ah! Thought there might be something down there. The Mermaid's Curse. I actually quite enjoyed that diving minigame. That was quite fun. What happens if I do retry? I mean, should I try it again? I should try it again, right? Interesting. Should I stop diving? Right, well... Alright, well, let's leave it at that for today. Good work out there, user. You managed to get a fair bit of diving in, huh? Bet you feel like you got a better grasp on things now. Ah, for sure. I feel like my diver rank's gone up at least a bit too. Oh, so, do you feel any different now? Did your body undergo any weird changes? No, I feel exactly the same. Nothing's changed. I'm the same old user I've always been. Well, guess we were a bit off the mark, huh? So, what do you want to do now? Should we call it a day? Yeah, talk about the hole. Azami? Yeah? Before we head back, can we talk for a bit? Sure. Oh no, it's Detective Kissyface again. I haven't even watched my first series. Detective Kissyface was a fan favourite character, I think. And it's this kind of face they pull. Sure, what's up? You want a kiss? Not really, Azami. Okay, so I can look around. Let's have a little look. So we can have a look at him. This is Azami Kumoi, my best friend. I've known him since we were both kids, growing up on Kamishima. When I told him I wanted to become an armor diver, he was quick to offer his full support. The fishing boat, the Cyan Maru, belongs to Azami's family. I don't have a boat of my own, so Azami was kind enough to bring it out for me. It used to belong to his dad, so it's getting on in years, but he takes good care of it. It seems he's hoping to keep using it for years to come. Oh, that's I guess that's not a wedding ring or so, it's probably just part of the boat, right? Ah, what's this? Oh, good eye, user. You must have a knack for finding mockingbirds. Mockingbirds? This is supposed to be a bird. Yep, they're the famous bird stickers. No one knows who made them, but they show up everywhere. They're pretty unique. There's just something about the idea of birds dressed up as delinquents, you know? It's weirdly charming. I was real surprised to find one on my boat, but decided to leave it be. To commemorate the occasion, I guess. By the way, that's Mockingbird number 8. Tit for tat. He's a long-tailed tit. I remember, was it the exact same thing in the first game, or was it something just very similar? Why do you take note of any you find? Maybe they'll bring you good luck. Well, I guess there's more to these mockingbirds than I thought. Alright. That's fine, we'll come back to those later. What's we got around here? He's got a sticker here too. Oh, I can look at the ocean, I suppose. Kamishima is located in the waters near the entrance to Issa Bay. As such, there are strict regulations on both the times and places diving is allowed. Right. Let's talk to him then. So, when I was diving just now, a giant hole in the seabed you'd never heard of before. Yeah, the rocks around it looked like they'd only recently collapsed. So I think it probably opened up within the last few months or so. Well now you mention it, there was a pretty big earthquake around here about 3 months ago. Maybe that had something to do with it. Oh, that's right, that would have been before I got back. Anyway, if you saw a giant hole in the seabed, you'd be curious about it, right? Oh, I sure would. Curious enough to try to take a look inside? Well, it'd be pretty dangerous, but I guess I might, yeah. Right, so I went closer to try and get a better look. Did you see anything? Well, when I looked down into the hole, a ghost or something that looked just like me suddenly rose up from the depths. A ghost that looked like you? It swam towards me with its hand outstretched. It looked like it was trying to hand something to me, or maybe it was trying to tell me something. Man. What'd you do then? Did you take its hand? I did. I felt like I couldn't resist somehow. I guess even the patron saint of diving does foolish things sometimes. The only thing I was a patron of was carelessness and a lack of proper vigilance. Well, sounds like there wasn't much you could do about it, though. Well. Hey, user. Anything you ran into, do you think it could have been a Tomakazuki? Tomakazuki? Hang on, if I do that, because I just noticed there's like a think thing here. What's this? A Tomakazuki, huh? But why would something like that be here? Kissy face! Huh? You never heard of it? Well, I guess not even all the folks around here knew about it either. Does sound familiar though. The Tomakazuki is a sort of ghost story around these parts. The story goes that sometimes when diving, an amateur diver will come across another version of themselves, like an exact copy. The other version then will be holding out something they want, like an abalone. Something they want? And when the diver reaches for it, the Tomakazuki grabs them and drags them to the bottom of the sea. Oh wow, that's scary. But wait, the Tomakazuki I saw wasn't holding anything. It wasn't? Oh well, that's different. Maybe it forgot it at home, maybe it forgot it at home or something. At home, huh? The abalone? Well, yeah, the abalone. Maybe it left it at home. Huh. Well, maybe the Tomakazuki is more careless than the legends let on. You're pretty forgetful, though, so maybe it became such a perfect copy that it imitated that aspect of you as well. Oh, that damn Tomakazuki. It knows my every weakness. Now that you mention it, though, I think I do remember that story from when I was younger. I guess the fact that I forgot the story really proves how forgetful I am, huh? Ah, don't worry. It was a while ago, you know? So, did anything happen after you took its hand? I don't really remember. When I came to, I was back outside the hole. I thought maybe I'd blacked out due to a lack of oxygen and it had been some sort of hallucination. Yeah, I see, yeah. Well, I guess it's possible. But if that's the case, it means I stopped you just to talk about some hallucination I saw. And that would be super embarrassing. Well, you want a kiss? Some people do say the Tomakazuki legends might have come about because the divers seeing things when they ran out of air. But hey, it's no big deal even if it was a hallucination. The most important thing is that you're safe. Still, I can't help but wonder about a hole suddenly appearing like that. Yeah, it's pretty weird. By the way, you know those symbols on your diving gear? Symbols? Yep, Seaman and Doman. The hammer divers around here all have them somewhere on their outfits. Oh, this was my mum's gear, so I didn't know. People say those symbols work as a charm to protect divers from the Tomakazuki. Interesting. If I ran into a Tomakazuki just now, wouldn't it mean the charm didn't work? Well, maybe, but it could be thanks to the charm that you made it back safely. The sea's a dangerous place, even without the Tomakazuki around. Things could have been even worse without the charm to protect you. I see. So without this charm, I really could have been attacked by a shark. Glad I had it then. Yeah, seriously, a shark would have been no laughing matter. Alright, let's see. They've added quite a lot of stuff here, I expect. Okay, so this is like a little folk story about the Tomokazuki. So let's read this. A long time ago, in a small village on one of the islands in the Isa Sea, there lived a young armor diver known for her exceptional swimming skills. One day, the wind was strong and the waves were higher than usual. Undeterred by the turbulent weather, the young diver dove into the sea but couldn't find even the smallest shell to bring back, let alone any abalone. Determined to find something, she dove even deeper into the ocean until she paused, sensing a presence behind her. Turning, she felt an undeniable sense that someone was watching her from a shadowy crevice in the rock. Finding this strange, she ventured closer, only to come face to face with a diver who looked exactly like her. As she floated there, stunned, the other diver extended her hand. In it was an abalone larger than any she had ever seen. The young diver was mesmerized. She had to have that abalone no matter what. She reached out her hand to take it. Suddenly, when her fingers were mere inches away from the abalone, the other diver's hand shot out and grasped her arm. Shocked, the young diver frantically struggled to pull away, but it was too late. Slowly, inevitably, she was dragged down into the depths of the ocean. Over time, this being came to be known as Tomokazuki, Together Diver, due to it taking on an identical appearance to its victims. Divers are warned never to accept Tomokazuki's offerings in the depths, lest they suffer the same fate. The Tomokazuki is still greatly feared by armor divers in modern times, and the Seiman and Doman symbols inscribed on items they take with them when diving are charms said to protect them from it. Let's have a look at those charms. Protective symbols widely worn by armor divers in Shima and Toba. The star-shaped symbol is known as Seiman, and the lattice-shaped like symbol is known as Doman. The two symbols are often embroidered side by side or drawn on clothing using purple dye made from shells. They are worn by armor divers when diving to ward off potential disasters that might befall them at sea. The term ama, most often written with characters meaning sea and woman, generally refers to women who freedive for shellfish, seaweed, and other marine products. It is said that they practice freediving both to prevent over-harvesting and to help protect the marine environment. Although armor divers operate in many regions in Japan, the Toba and Shima regions are known for having the highest number of armor divers. These regions also exhibit customs unique to the sea, such as the practice of carrying objects of the Seiman and Doman symbols to ward off misfortune. Even within Toba and Shima, rules and practices can vary greatly. For example, the practice of wearing white attire over the wetsuit is a common practice only in the Shima region. Despite the high population of armor divers in Isa Bay, there are none to be found north of Isa City. This can be explained by the difference in the seafloor composition between the two areas. While the sandy seafloor near Isa allowed for net fishing, the rocky seafloor in the Toba and Shima areas made net fishing difficult, leading to the adoption of freediving as an alternative. Abalone harvested by armor divers in Kazuki Town in Toba has traditionally been processed into ceremonial dried goods, known as noshi awabi, which are then presented as an offering at Isa Shrine. This practice is said to have originated when Yamatohime no Mikoto, the princess who enshrined Amaterasu, I remember that term from the previous game, Amaterasu, at Isa Shrine, was searching for a suitable food to offer to the gods. When presented with abalones by an armor diver named Oben, the princess found them exceptionally delicious and decided that abalone would be the primary offering for the region. As a result, the armor divers of Toba and Shima have a strong connection to the region's Shinto rituals, and there are some regions where they perform ritual dances as offerings during Shinto festivals. Note, although armor is sometimes written with characters meaning sea and man, when the diver is male, this game uses only the traditional characters of sea and woman, when the language is set to Japanese. Okay. A cultural note there. What else do we have? Diving tips, that's alright. Got the mockingbirds, we'll come back to them as and when. We can see the things that we've caught, quality of and stuff. I wonder how big a part the diving game is actually going to play. Oh, I thought these were abalones, are they not? A sea snail, commonly enjoyed as sashimi or roasted whole in its shell. Knew those of sea urchins, and the scallops. Scallops are raw! Been watching a lot of Kitchen Nightmares on Amazon Prime recently. A lot of scallops served in that. Anywho. Okay, so it's still the same thing. You got anything else to say? Hey, Azami, about the Tomokazuki just now. Yeah? Do you think that has anything to do with what we're looking into? What's that? Unlocked past recollection chapter. User Minakuchi. Something I want to do. Okay. Ah, hello. My apologies for the interruption. I'd like to take this chance to inform you about a unique ability of yours, the recollection feature. But to make things clear, I must first tell you about the story chart. From here on, you will return to this screen, the story chart, at breaks in the story. I remember this in the first game, so you could kind of progress different characters' scenes kind of at different parts of the timeline, and it would kind of unlock things or change things in others. It was kind of cool how it all worked, actually. You see, the story you will witness will not necessarily unfold in chronological order. The screen will allow you to see where each chapter lies in the grand scheme of things, as well as select where you wish to proceed to next. If the icon for a chapter is not dim, that indicates it has not been fully completed. Generally speaking, completing a chapter will unlock the chapter immediately after it. However, there will occasionally be times when a recollection button will appear during the story, as you experienced just now. Pressing this button will allow you to delve into a memory evoked by certain words in the text, which will in turn unlock a new chapter, a past recollection chapter, for you to experience. A most remarkable ability, is it not? Once you have unlocked such a chapter, it will become available in the story chart for you to peruse as you wish. This ability will be key in unraveling the tale before you, so do be sure to press the recollection button when you see it come up. With that, please enjoy the continuation of this tale. Well, if so, could your mum have become an armor diver because she wanted to find the Tomokazuki? But she wouldn't have worn something with this charm on it if that were true, right? So, this story chart thing. Can I... Okay, it's not active now, so I think we'll be able to do that recollection in a bit. Yeah, good point. Okay, still the same thought. We've already seen this. It is ticked, in fairness. Okay, I mean, are we done? Is that all you wanted to talk about? No, there's more. Actually, this might be the most important part. I realise there's something I need to do after this, something really important. Hey, so you found a lead down there after all? I'm serious. If I don't pull this off, something terrible's going to happen. Hey, I believe you. Go on, tell me everything. Okay. So here we have the past recollection, don't we? Something I want to do. And then the stuff we did. This is new, so that's after this. We're going to go to something I want to do. A day before he sets off for the sea as an armor diver, user Minakuchi asks Azami Kumoi to meet him at the Kantekisho ruins. Right, let's go in. August 6th, 1980 something. Oh, but they said it was the day before, didn't they? Yeah. Oh, I see. If you say you want to be an armor diver, then of course you've got my full support. Something tells me you're not just doing this for see you. You're bound to talk if you become an armor diver here. You must have some other reason, one big enough to risk everyone running their mouths. Well, I knew I couldn't hide anything from you, Azami. Yeah, wouldn't take me even 0.2 of a second to see through one of your lies. So, what's up? Tell me everything. We'll have a little around. What's in the surroundings? These are the ruins of an old wartime building, the Kantekisho. The building's been abandoned, so hardly anyone ever comes here, which makes it the perfect place for private meetings. That's alright, I need to read about that. Birds. Mockingbirds. Could be anywhere. I feel like that's probably it, though. Hey, Azami. What I'm about to say is going to sound pretty crazy. You still want to hear it? Sure, bring it on. Thanks, I'll come right out and say it then. I'm looking for a mermaid, and I need to find one by tomorrow. Oh, a mermaid, huh? And by tomorrow, that? Well, that's going to be tough. I'm being serious. In fact, I've never been more serious. I really do have to find a mermaid by tomorrow. I can tell you're not joking by the look on your face. You got some sort of reason for saying this, right? Go on, I'm listening. Well, thanks, Azami. Right, let's have a think. What are we going to... I should be able to tell Azami everything, right? I guess so. Is it okay if I talk a little about the disaster 5 years ago? Oh, the disaster, huh? Well, if you're okay with it, sure. I was in middle school at the time and my parents had taken me out onto the bay on a little fishing boat. This massive storm came out of nowhere and sank all 3 fishing boats that got caught up in it. I was the only one who survived. Yeah, it was really terrible. We'll have a look at the disaster. Yeah, let's see what this actually says. A localised storm that broke out in the sea to the south of Kamishima around 5 years ago, resulting in a maritime accident in which a total of 10 people went missing. 3 fishing vessels that had set out to sea from Kamishima were suddenly caught in an unanticipated storm and foundered, leaving all but one of the 11 fishermen and armour divers on board missing. When the ships were later dredged up and searched, not a single body was discovered. The sole survivor was Yuzo Minakuchi, who was a middle school student at the time. His parents, Tosuke and Mare, as well as Azami Kumoi's father, Kiyokichi, were among the victims. Locals in the area reportedly heard an eerie rumbling from the sea on the morning of the incident. List of casualties. So there was a medium-sized fishing vessel, Daiichi Kiyoshimaru, foundered. Captain Kiyokichi Kumoi and all 5 crew members missing. Small-sized fishing vessel, Omeimaru, Captain Yukichi Nishikawa and 1 passenger, identity unknown, reported missing. Small-sized fishing vessel Minakuchi Maru, foundered. Captain Tosuke Minakuchi and 1 other crew member reported missing. 1 passenger recovered with slight injuries. Dissociative amnesia due to psychological trauma. Sole survivor. When the boat the Minakuchi family was on was about to sink, Mare and Tosuke put on a lifebuoy on their son Yuza and helped him escape the boat before the waves engulfed it. Despite the slim chances of survival in such a dire situation, Yuza was miraculously found drifting in the sea the next day, still wearing the lifebuoy, and was successfully rescued. Although he had no external injuries, the shock of the accident had left him in a state of confusion, and he has little memory of what happened at that time. The accident plunged Kamishima into a state of deep sorrow. Fishermen and armour divers temporarily stopped fishing to mourn, and a memorial was erected to honour the lost. Perhaps due to his memory loss, the sole survivor Yuza appeared relatively composed in contrast to the grief of those around him. Many found this unnerving, and Yuza became increasingly isolated from the rest of the community. Azami, himself having lost his father in the accident, tried to support him however he could, reasoning that he was still better off than Yuza, who had lost both parents before his very eyes. As investigations continued, questions arose about what the Minakuchi family had been doing in the vicinity of the disaster, despite not having gone out to fish. Yuza only remembered his parents telling him to come with them, and the purpose of their excursion remains unclear to this day. It was not long before speculation began that Mare Minakuchi had done something to incur the wrath of the god of the sea, and the islanders, already suspicious of her due to her mysterious background, were quick to condemn her, citing the sudden, localized nature of the storm. In contrast, the only words of sympathy were spoken for her husband, Tosuke. As rumours that Mare had brought disaster to Kamishima and continued to spread, Yuza's grandmother, Tsuyu Minakuchi, sent him away from the island to board at a high school on the mainland. She had sensed the islanders' resentment beginning to turn toward Yuza, and hoped to shield him from becoming an even greater target of their ire. Even now, 5 years after the accident, feelings of animosity towards Mare Minakuchi remain deeply ingrained in the people of Kamishima. With the truth of the accident still shrouded in mystery, deep scars and suspicions continue to linger in the hearts of many islands. There we go. So, what about the disaster did you want to talk about? Well, I've recently started to remember some things about what happened. For real? Oh, I know your memories of the disaster were kind of hazy due to the shock. But it's great that you're starting to remember. Oh, but, I guess it's not exactly something you want to remember, huh? Sorry for getting all fired up. It's okay. It actually hasn't bothered me as much as I thought it would. Thanks for worrying about me, though. It's just that the things I've remembered are a bit strange, so I couldn't bring myself to say anything. Sorry for keeping quiet up to now. Strange, huh? Well, I can see why you want to keep it to yourself, all things considered. Don't sweat it. Yeah, so about the accident. When we ran into the storm, our boat got caught in a whirlpool and started to sink. My parents gave me a lifebuoy and lowered me into the water. They were frantic, and I was too stunned to do anything but go along with what was happening. I can imagine. That must have been really scary. But the waves were knocking me around, so it took everything I had just to hold on to the buoy. In the end, I just watched as the boat was swallowed by the water. I couldn't do anything else. There wasn't anything you could have done. It wasn't your fault, user. But right after that, this huge wave came crashing down on me. I got dragged down into the depths of the sea, lifebuoy and all. Huh? You got pulled under? I thought... Yeah, up until now I thought I managed to miraculously stay afloat until I got rescued. I remember now. I was pulled down underneath the waves. Huh? I remember being caught in a current and tossed all about underwater. I couldn't breathe. I was so sure I was going to die there. But then someone grabbed my hand. Wait, are you saying what I think you're saying? I was barely conscious by that point, so it's not like I saw them clearly or anything. I'm certain someone was there with me. Someone who grabbed hold of me and pulled me to safety. And from what I remember... You're saying they were a mermaid? Exactly. Oh, so you were saved by a mermaid? I'm sure of it. And it looked exactly like what first comes to mind when you hear the word mermaid. A real mermaid, huh? It was a really extreme situation, so it's entirely possible I was just seeing things. Which would mean I called you out here just to talk to you about some hallucination I had. And if that's the case, I'm going to be super embarrassed. I mean, you're standing here talking to me now, right? So you must have gotten out of that situation somehow. I can't imagine any normal person being able to stay afloat in a storm like that, let alone managing to save someone. Same. You'd have to be some sort of superhuman or something, or not human at all. Yeah. Man, who would have guessed there were mermaids here in Isa? If I really was saved by a mermaid, I owe them my life. I'd like to thank them in person if possible. Yeah, that makes sense. So that's why you're looking for them, huh? Well, if we managed to find them, I've got to thank them for saving you too. So, I was thinking of heading to where the disaster happened and diving there to see if I can find anything. What? Oh, wait. Are you sure you almost died there? I'll be fine. In fact, since I've never gone near there since the disaster happened, I was also thinking I'd like to do something to honour my parents and your dad's memory. Yeah, I'd like to at least offer flowers, if nothing else. Well, the others have always kept their distance, but it's not like there's going to go in there as forbidden or anything. Let's do it. Oh, thanks, Azami. I owe you one. Should we think again, or is it going to be the same thing? Same thing. There's no guarantee the mermaid will still be around there, right? I'm thinking it would be good to have more of a lead before we head out there. About that, do you mind if I say something crazy? Your lips, they're just so kissable. Again? Sure, what's up? You remember my mum, right? Yeah, of course I remember Mrs. Mare. Well, she wasn't originally from Kamishima, but she met my dad when she moved here and ended up marrying him. Even to me, she never really seemed to fit in here. Well, I can't really disagree there. She never spoke to me much either. Some people even outright told me not to talk to her, you know. Said she was suspicious because we didn't know anything about her. Stuff like that. Yeah, I guess that's understandable. She didn't really involve herself in community activities and almost never participated in local events. I felt like she was always keeping a distance from the other islanders somehow. 20 years here and she was still considered an outsider. Yeah, I never knew how to bring it up to you, but I always kind of wondered. Was there some sort of reason for that? Oh, not as far as I know. Dad and Gran never seemed to mind, so I figured that's just how she was. Looking back at things now, it was pretty weird. Mare Minakuchi. Age unknown. User's mother. Having gone missing in the Kamishima Southern Sea disaster 5 years ago, she was declared dead a year later, after search parties found no sign. More than 20 years ago, Mare Somakawa arrived on Kamishima with no possessions to her name, expressing that she had taken a liking to the local environment and wanted to move there. However, she remained tight-lipped about her background, only revealing that she was from a small town out in the mountains, and that she had had to leave her home for undisclosed reasons. And although her request to move to Kamishima was accepted, Many islanders remained suspicious of her. After settling on the island, she showed an interest in the Ama lifestyle and eventually took it up after displaying a talent for freediving, with Tsuyu Minekuchi acting as her instructor. During this time, she grew close to Tosuke Minekuchi, Tsuyu's only son, and eventually married him a few years later. The two would go on to have a son of their own, whom they named Yuza. Despite this, Mari was unable to fully shake the air of mystery that surrounded her, and many islanders continued to question whether her presence in the island might cause trouble down the line. Something of a free spirit, her nonconformist ways and somewhat naive personality meant that she was often absent from local activities, leading to further criticism from a portion of the population. Some also reported frequently spotting her wandering the island after she first moved there, seemingly looking for something, or catching sight of her doing something on the shore in the middle of the night. Definitely some mystery going on here. Interesting. Fortunately, her mother-in-law Tsuyu Minekuchi was a person of no small influence on Kamashima, and no one dared to openly persecute Mari under Tsuyu's watchful eye. The three generations lived peacefully under the same roof for more than 10 years, until the Kamashima Southern Sea disaster tore them apart. Since her disappearance in the disaster 5 years prior, a growing number of people have accused her of somehow being responsible, citing her various instances of suspicious behaviour as justification. Well, I guess even I thought she was a bit of an oddball at times. You say that, but I think you're going to be pretty similar. I think you're getting to be pretty similar to her. What? Really? Yeah. What's that saying? Marching to the beat of your own drum? You're both like that. Really? I never realised. I've been so blind. A blind fool. Yep, there it is. That's what I'm talking about. What? But why'd you bring up your mum all of a sudden? Well, looking back now, there were a few things that always bothered me. Oh? For a start, no one ever told me where my mum was from. She was also a natural at armour diving, but I never saw her eat any seafood. And sometimes at night, she'd suddenly say she wanted to go look at the sea before going out and not coming back for hours. I guess it all is pretty weird, yeah. I'm wondering, is his mum a mermaid? Like, I'm just thinking of, Ariel from The Little Mermaid, sort of growing her legs and coming to live on land. Could it be a similar thing? Maybe? Early shout. I've no idea. Well, that's not all. When I was sorting through my mum's belongings, I found this. We usually keep it in the family altar, but I brought it along today just to show you. What's that? A fish scale? It's huge. It's got to be at least 7 or 8 centimetres long. Or human size. I always just figured she'd held onto it because it was a rare find. But once I remembered the mermaid, I began to wonder. What fish could this scale have come from? And why was my mum holding onto it? Whoa, hold it right there. You're not saying... I am. The mermaid who rescued me back then was... Oh, okay. I guess it wasn't a very early shout. It was you! I think it was my mum. What do you think? I don't know. It's pretty out there. I'm going to have to make my kissy face for a bit. Could that even be possible? So your theory is your mum used to be a mermaid, but she became a human so she could live among us? Well, yeah, but she turned back into a mermaid when the disaster happened and wasn't able to come back afterwards. How does that sound? I don't know. But after hearing your story, I can't just dismiss it out of hand either. Well, if that's really the case, my mum really is still out there in the sea somewhere, even if it's in a different form. I was thinking it'd be nice if I could see her again. Might be because they're still treated as missing instead of dead, but still hasn't really sunk in that my parents are gone. Yeah, I know what you mean. Sometimes it feels like my pops is just going to show up at home again like nothing ever happened. Though even if your mum's alive, I guess it'd be hard for her to show up if she's back in her mermaid form now, right? If my mum really does have some sort of connection to mermaids, then maybe that was the reason she never really fit in here. It might help clear up any mistaken impressions the others have of her anyway. I see. So you think that by trying out armour diving like your mum did, you might be able to find something out? And maybe if you're lucky, you'll run into a mermaid in the process. Yeah. If I really am descended from mermaids somehow, it's possible that diving might awaken something in me. Oh, right. I I hadn't thought of that. I guess if your legs suddenly become fins, we'll know for sure if you're a second-grade generation mermaid. Oh, okay, I think I've gotten the gist of what you want to do now. Oh, thanks for understanding, Azami. I haven't been happy with how people have been treating you ever since the disaster, either. What they say about your mum. If there's anything I can do to clear the air, I want to help. Oh, thanks, I appreciate it. I don't know how people will react if you suddenly start talking about mermaids. It might be best to keep quiet about that part for now and just say you're looking into your mum. What do you think? Yeah, I think that would be best. Okay, well, now we've got that settled, how about we head out tomorrow morning? That sound good to you? Yeah, I've been doing some training in secret, so I'm all set. Yeah, still having to find a mermaid by tomorrow is pretty sudden. What's up with the tight deadline? Well, sorry, I can't say right now. If we manage to find one, I'll explain everything, I promise. Yeah, well, as long as you tell me later, it's all good. Oh, here's an idea. If you're in that much of a rush, how about we talk to Tsukasa and Sato? Maybe they'll be able to help out. I wonder. It would be nice to have more help. But would they even believe me? The whole thing's pretty crazy after all. Besides, Tsukasa's going back to the mainland soon. I'd hate to bother her now. True. Knowing Tsukasa, she might be surprisingly on board with the whole thing. Say, I knew he'd be here. Whoa, speak of the devil. When did you two get here? Oh, talking about something you didn't want us to hear, were you? Boys will be boys, I guess. Childhood friend, Tsukasa Aweo. Aweo. High school student, apprentice armor diver, 17 years old. A girl born and raised on Kamishima, she has a bright, friendly nature and an inquisitive personality. Currently in her second year of high school, she boasts excellent grades and sharp intuition. She has been staying at a relative's house in Issa City since last year in order to attend an all-girls high school on the mainland, and is currently back on Kamishima for summer break. Despite this, she frequently makes trips back to the island on weekends, and has been trying her hand at underwater gatherings since the current diving season began, having long since been interested in the Ama lifestyle. Her estimated diver rank is 6, however her teachers have been strongly encouraging her to aim for a national university. She has been friends with Azami and Yuza since childhood, with their close rapport making up for the difference in their academic years, and it was more common to find her playing with the two boys than with girls her own age up until middle school. However, since leaving the island to attend high school, she has grown more conscious of their age difference. It's only a year, 2 for Azami I suppose, and has put some distance between herself and them. She hit it off immediately with Sato Shiranami, a girl who came to Kamishima to lodge with the Wakamuras a few months ago, and was looking forward to showing her around the island and helping her adapt to life there whenever she returns home. 18 years ago, her still pregnant mother, Nagisa Aweo, moved to Kamishima alone before giving birth to Tsukasa shortly afterwards. Tsukasa subsequently grew up in a single-mother household, although she used to occasionally ask her mother about her father. The questions were always evaded, so she has since stopped inquiring. However, the fact that her mother never seems to have any financial difficulty despite not working has led her to quietly suspect he might still be involved in some way. Hey, you got us all wrong. We weren't talking about nothing like that. Yeah, you gotta hear me out, Tsukasa. I was powerless to resist. I refused at first, but Azami insisted and... hang on. Gotta think of that. Maybe French. Oh, tell me more. Well, you might as well admit it, user. And Sato, what's with the sudden keen interest? Enigmatic girl, Sato Shiranami. Alright, let's have a look at her. She's 17 as well, house guest. That's her occupation, apparently. A mysterious girl, currently... She's a mermaid! Any mysterious females are mermaids. A mysterious girl currently lodging with Shinobu Wakamura, a local Kamishima magnate. Roughly 3 months ago, Sato suddenly arrived on Kamishima claiming that she was the child of a relative of the Wakamuras. She showed no sign of attending school or doing any sort of work, instead spending her days holed up in the Wakamura household, leading many islanders to wonder just who she is and what she's doing there. Those who know about Wakamura's high-interest money lending behind the scenes speculate that she might be the daughter of one of his borrowers, sent to work as a domestic servant to pay off a debt. But Sato herself is extremely easygoing and doesn't seem to be bothered by the endless rumours. A huge television fan, she spends much of her spare time glued to the set in the Wakamura household, with her most recent obsessions being soap operas and 2-hour thrillers. However, she isn't all that fond of period dramas. She is good friends with Tsukasa Aweo, who is close to her in age, and the two can often be seen enjoying themselves wandering the island together. Ugh, let's all calm down, okay? It's not like that. We were having a perfectly normal conversation.
Yeah, sure. Anyways.
Hey, don't just brush me off.
You're getting pretty worked up, Azami.
Don't act all innocent. You're the one who caused this mess, you know.
Sorry to interrupt your fan, but I really did have something to say. Folks are worried you haven't showed up to this association meeting, Azami. You should probably get going.
Oh, damn the meeting. Totally slipped my mind. Sorry, user, I gotta go for now. I'll get in touch later.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for coming, even though you're so busy. I guess we'll be on our way too, then. Sorry, but we got some important business of our own to handle.
Alright, let's click on that so we make sure that we get that going. Unlocked. Advice. Okay.
So did you hear what we were talking about? Only the part where my name came up. I didn't want to be nosy, though.
You see, well, thanks for coming all the way out here to get Azami.
I don't know what you guys are up to, but you've piqued me interest. Be sure to tell me all about it later, okay? Anyways, see you later. Come on, Sato. Roger? Oh, one more thing. You better not forget about the day after tomorrow. Tell Azami he'd better remember too.
Sure, I'll tell him later. Okay, well, having just wrapped up that past recollection of users, I think that's probably a good place to leave it for now. It's interesting it's gone on to Sato as, I guess, like a POV character, being on her own kind of timeline. I would have thought maybe it was Tsukasa, but no, there we go. Well, we'll come back next time. Maybe we'll head into this recollection first, and then we'll kind of proceed into Memories of Last Summer. Okay. Still kind of working out, you know, how the characters intertwine their sort of past experiences with each other. But hopefully you've enjoyed this first look at Paranormasight, the Mermaid's Curse. Let me know in the comments your thoughts so far. And I mean, my theory about his mum being a mermaid was very quickly sort of brought into canon. Well, not that she definitely is, but that he at least suspects her of being so. But if you have any other theories about what might be going on, I mean, it's very early days. I don't think we've quite got the shape of the central mystery that the game's going to revolve around yet. But certainly some interesting stuff. As I said, let me know your thoughts. And a big thank you to my channel members as well for supporting Boring Dad Gaming. Continues to be hugely appreciated. And if anyone else is interested in, you know, checking out those memberships and gaining earlier access to my videos in this series and, you know, the various other series that I run on the channel, that'd be awesome. But thanks very much, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.